Welcome to the video demonstration of DCWizard, a tool to automate data conversion activities for Oracle EBS, an innovation from Technevo Solutions. I'm sure a lot of you have encountered issues where you needed to convert data from a legacy system to Oracle, and this tool is going to help you do that quite easily. So when you install DCWizard, you get a custom responsibility Technevo Data Conversion Wizard, which has access to the tool. This is how it looks when you open it up. As you can see, there's some instructions there that you need to follow, and there's a button called Configure. When you hit that, you get another window which shows you the types of conversions that are supported by DCWizard. So there's about 10 or 12 of them that are supported: sales orders, bills of material, routings, purchase orders, AP and AR invoices, GL balances, inventory on hand, and so on. And you can see that a lot of them, all of them have some predefined validation and derivation rules. So like this one derives the order type ID or the order source ID based on the order source name, which you would get in a flat file, maybe. And that's the SQL query to validate this particular column. The same way for the order type. There are some that are only validate. So for example, you just want to validate the currency. It doesn't actually derive anything. You just want to make sure it's a valid currency code. And in the second tab, you can see the interface tables that are going to be involved in this data conversion. So in our case, because we're looking at sales orders, you see the OE headers and the OE lines IFACE tables, and those are the default values for certain columns. So this is what you can do from the configure screen. You can also import and export. You can define your own custom rules from here. So we're going to walk you through a demo that's primarily based on bills of material today, and show you how this tool will help you make converting bills of material or BOM data from a legacy system to Oracle so easy. I mean, there's no code to be written. So the first thing you do is choose your conversion. So like I said, we're gonna go with BOM. Right, so that's the entire list, and I choose bills of material from there. Now obviously I have a data file from a legacy system, maybe in the form of a CSV file, so it's separated by comma, and then I hit the upload file button. So I'm going to upload my data file from my legacy system here, and I hit upload file. And when I do that, it opens up the GFM window. So this is the generic file manager window, and I choose my file and upload it, and it's done successfully. So I come back to the form and I click yes, because my file was uploaded successfully. And it tells me that BOM conversion demo.csv was uploaded. So I hit next. Now, as you can see, it's actually parsed my file. The file had headings in them, so it's parsed it, and it's determined column names automatically. Of course, it assumes that all the columns are varchar, so if you have some columns that are number, or if you have columns that are not varchar 240 or more than that, then you're going to have to change that. Just make those little changes there. And this is where it gets very interesting. This is where you apply validation and derivation rules. So the first thing you do is determine what fields are absolutely mandatory for your conversion. So in my case, org code, assembly item, component item, and the sequence are mandatory. And then I can apply a predefined rule. So these are the pre-shipped rules that you get with DCWizard. So when you get DCWizard on your system, you get a whole bunch of rules for every conversion type already defined, so you don't need to start writing the code again from scratch. So you just choose the predefined validation or derivation rule, So I applied the validate org code for the org code column. I applied validate item number for my assembly item, validate component item number for my component item, and that's it. So those are the validations I want to do. Of course, you can also write your own custom validation. So you can click that and you can write your own little validation there. So let's say you want to make sure that the item sequences are not duplicate. So you can do that. So you just click that, say it's validate only, and here I'm going to basically check if there are any duplicate values for the item sequence within that bill of material, because then that would fail. So the STGTBL call in the less than and greater than sign, that's the important thing. So, alright, I'm not going to check duplicates, it's going to take too long. So I'm just going to make sure it's a positive number. So I do that. And there you see, it's a new custom rule that I've written. And it's shown up there. And what I do next, what you see is it's added 3 columns automatically to my table now. And those are to store my derived values. So when I applied those 3 validation rules, it actually derives values for these ID columns. And this is where I map it. So I'm going to map organization ID to the BOM bill of materials interface organization ID, the assembly item ID in a similar way. Component item ID goes to the comps interface. The item sequence goes to the comps interface as well. That's operation sequence number, I guess. Yep, that's the one. Component quantity goes into component quantity. Yield factor goes into component yield factor, I guess. Yep. Alright. So now I've mapped all my columns to the underlying standard interface tables. When I hit next, it's telling me that there's 2 tables there. So there's a header and a child. So how do you want to link them? What's the column that's going to link these 2? So I choose assembly item ID as my link. And I hit next. This doesn't show up if you have a single interface table. For example, GL interface, it's got a single interface table, so it doesn't show up there. But for everything else, it does. Here it's asking you the app's password, the custom schema where you want to create the staging table, and what should be the naming of your custom objects. So what should be the naming convention for your custom table, your custom package, things like that. And it's asking you 2 other things here. It's asking you the program names for the load and for the conversion, the main conversion process. So like in any data conversion program, you got to first load the data using SQL Loader, and then you got to have a process that runs through that data to interface it. When I've finished entering all that information, I hit the finish button. And it says, may take some time, please be patient. Alright, we'll be patient. There you go, that's the little progress bar that's telling me it's creating a staging table, it's creating a control file, it's creating a shell script to call the control file, it's creating a package spec, it's creating a package body, it's creating concurrent programs for loading the data, it's making a concurrent program for the actual conversion, and it's generating LDT files from them. And it's also giving you a little help file. It's going to give you a help file. So at the end of it, what you get is a zip file like this with these contents. As you can see, there's a README, there's a package spec body, there's a staging table script, there's a prog file, there's a CTL file, and 2 LDTs. Let's look at all of them. This is the staging table script. And you can see it's clearly marked which columns are coming from your file, which it's going to derive internally, and there's also columns for your who data, and for process flag, etc. So this is the control file. That's going to load the data from your CSV into the staging table. And then a shell script. Wow, nice looking shell script. That's going to call the SQL loader. It's going to update your who columns, and it's going to tell you whether there's any errors with the loading. And that's the package spec. So it's created a package spec. As you can see, with one procedure that's going to be called from your main conversion process. Now we come to the best part of it all, the package body, where all the logic has already been written for you. So there's a procedure for validate data, which picks up data from your staging table, performs validations. Those are the ones we marked as mandatory, and these are the validations we actually applied to it. So external validations that we applied. And this is the part where it's inserting into the interface tables. You can see it automatically created two cursors, and they're joined by the assembly item ID. You remember we linked the two tables when we were going through the wizard. And there you go. It even gives you a nice report telling you how many records were there, how many are successful, how many failed. And it's a complete package body. Wow, you didn't write a single line of code. You got all of that out of nothing. Well, look at this. It's even giving you an LDT file. Everything. So, with this, it also gives you a README. So it tells you what are the files it's given you, what you need to do, you know, what you need to put where. So it's giving you all the instructions. You just need to follow them, and your data conversion program is ready to go. So, if you like DCWizard and you want your copy, contact us today. Thank you.